friends who want to catch crocodiles, don't worry about hunting in the swamp, or they'll look like these two fuckers. Basically no technology. On the first day, it was all baby crocodiles. With the help of the old swamp hunter. There's a small one on the hunt, so get some guidance first, as the alligator season dwindles. Today is also the last day of the first week. The hunters are trying to move up the rankings. They all made different arrangements. Ashley and Anna, for example, are still going, near where Troy hunts, and that made the king of the swamp decide to meet them and have a friendly exchange with the two. With Troy's nonsense finished, Ashley and Anna set sail. Go on your own hunt. As the two men moved deeper into the swamp, Ashley and Anna saw their own trap. Found the line is straight after. He immediately sailed closer. Anna also pulls the rope out of the water and pulled the crocodile directly to the surface. And this crocodile just showed up and tried to get on the boat. But at Anna's disposal, not only did he not make it aboard, and it gave Ashley an opportunity on the side. I just gave him a peanut. Look at this nearly 9-foot alligator. The two moved up in their rankings, become more confident, and Daniel Edgar on the other side, with his grandson Dorian, headed for a rich river. No one's been hunting there for 10 years, so they were convinced that it was full of monsters. And to make sure only the giants are caught, Daniel came up with a plan that is to set the trap a little higher. The bait on the trap can only be eaten by giant crocodiles. After all, from a scientific point of view, crocodiles can only jump a third of their way through the water and bait 3 feet above the water. I'm sure I'll catch at least 9 feet. And now is the time to find out. But when they reached the first trap, Dorian pulled the crocodile out and found it. The crocodile is bigger than expected, but it's still under Dorian's control. Let Daniel kill it without a hitch. As we pulled this crocodile into the boat, the two discovered the trap and triggered the guarantee. It happened to be a 9-foot alligator. Not to their satisfaction, though, but at least it proves that it works. Dozens of miles away, Pork Chop and Laron, after the initial fiasco, aspire to move up the rankings today and come out on top. And in order to achieve this goal, the two immediately begin to fight the first crocodile. Pork Chops, after pulling them to the surface of the water. With the death of this crocodile, the two men found that it was only 9 feet. It's a good start, though, but they still need a bigger crocodile, so they can steadily move up the rankings. And on the other side, there's Troy and Kimchi, headed to a place called Deadwood. This is a very deep swamp, and there are also a significant number of crocodiles. But it's not as deep as it used to be. You can tell by the tree in front of you. The cone on the top was placed in 1973. Today, the water level is 20 feet lower. This can also tell the ecological environment today. Something incredible is happening. The two chatted along the way. Soon we reached the first trap. Kimchi immediately stepped forward to pull the rope, but it got stuck in the branch. I had to put my hand in the water at risk. Pull on the rope as soon as you free it. After taking care of this alligator, Troy, to save some energy, I got the winch out right away. Slowly pull the crocodile out of the water. Although the first crocodile was huge, but it also means that this place is full of danger. They have to be careful with what happens here, or there's a good chance you'll never go back. And on the other side, Ashley and Anna, 2 men hunting near Troy. Now the harvest is full. It also made them think they could win. But the position of king of the swamp is not so easily replaceable. Both men will have to work harder to deal with every crocodile that comes your way. With the emergence of this big fish, after pulling it out of the water, turns out the crocodile wasn't big. It's only about 8 feet in size. This was a great disappointment to both men, but it was killed after all. Now they have to accept it. At the same time, Dorian and Daniel, all the traps have been adjusted. Now all we have to do is look at every bait. Soon the 2 men are in front of a loaded trap. At once Dorian pulled the rope out of the water, but it turns out there are no crocodiles. This made them immediately feel that something was wrong. Not sure what happened though, but only if the drumsticks are rehung. But the trap keeps doing that. They had to take a closer look. Look at every detail of the crime scene. Daniel was quick to spot the problem, knowing it was made by a raccoon, so he quickly took out the chili powder from the boat and sprinkled it on the chicken legs, even got it ashore. Well, I don't know why they did it, but the results will come soon enough. And on the other side, Laron and Pork Chops, trying to find those giant crocodiles to be the best at this competition, or 2, and the prize for first place. It's going to be a complete no deal. As the 2 men approach the new trap, the Pork Chop immediately pulls up the rope and pull the crocodile out of the water. Looking at the Pork Chop with some desperate eyes, I knew the crocodile had got away, and at the height of the competition. This makes Pork Chop very depressed and uncomfortable. But it has already happened. They don't have triangle hooks. We have to accept this fact. And on the other side, the Duffy house. Ashley and Anna wrap up the day. Although there are many gains, but none of them are more than 9 feet long. This makes 2 people very uncomfortable. But then Troy came with the crocodile. His gains were the opposite of Ashley's. Not only do most of them use forklifts, and even the smallest is bigger than theirs. It made Ashley feel bad. But what can you do about it? With the end of the day, the results for each team are in too. Troy managed to climb to first place. The gap between Ashley and Willie grew. With a new day, Ashley and Anna are here again. There's a hunt near Troy's house. But today she made a change. She took a small boat with her. I don't know what they're up to though, but looking at Ashley like she had it all figured out. Must have thought today was a good day. As the two keep moving forward, they came to a very narrow estuary and put the boat on the shore. Then they left, and on the other side, Laurent and pork chops, and came up with a solution to kick off the season. And the way they did it, get Swamp veteran Bruce to help. Hopefully under his leadership, complete the reverse from worst to best. And Bruce happened to have the same idea. Because of the hurricane in the swamp last year, let him not complete all the labels. Soon he came to a trap. He immediately stepped forward and pulled the crocodile out of the water. Although this is a beautiful giant crocodile, but help the two pull off the counterattack. At least we need crocodiles like food sticks. And Daniel and Dorian on the other side. Yesterday, after sprinkling paprika on the traps. Today is the time to check the results. Let's see if the raccoons get kicked out. But Daniel is confident. As they get closer to the trap, turns out there's a crocodile on it. Dorian pulls him out as soon as he gets closer. That's a hell of a job finding this crocodile. And very active. This made Daniel very happy. He just rewarded the crocodile with a peanut. After we take care of this alligator, the two men immediately pulled him to the boat. Look at this really big crocodile. The two were very happy. Dorian didn't think paprika would work either, and the crocodile seemed to like it too. Daniel says you're still young. Two people in Deadwood at the same time encountered a very difficult problem. That's here. Don't know when. To be commandeered by water lilies. The pair inspect lines and hunt crocodiles. Brought great difficulties. So Troy stopped the ship. Told Kimchi to keep his eyes on the road. There's a good chance we'll hit some trees. Then they set off again. It didn't take long to start walking. Troy drove the boat into the tree. It doesn't help to yell Kimchi up front. Troy just drove on awkwardly. Soon they were in front of the trap. Kimchi looked at the rippling water, very excited to pull it up, because he knew there was a giant crocodile down there. But after killing him, Kimchi was embarrassed, because this crocodile is only 7 feet long. It's not up to the standards of a giant crocodile, and this crocodile is going to affect both of us. But now it's time to move on to the next location. And Ashley and Anna on the other side. They hope to hunt in narrow waterways. Can help them improve their current ranking. But it's too hard to think about this boat. But that's where they put their hopes now. Can only force to continue to move forward. And they had just come out of the narrow channel. I saw that the trap we set was loaded. So Anna immediately stepped forward and pulled the rope. After we put this crocodile to sleep, the two men immediately pulled him to the boat. I managed to get half my body on the boat. The rope in Anna's hand suddenly broke. But there's no time to get a new one. Quickly went forward to continue the boat. After pulling the crocodile into the boat, Anna, too, slumped to the side. But a crocodile like this is exactly what the two men wanted. And 19 miles away, Laurent and Porkchop are getting a different deal these days. Bruce will bring his own experience and skills. After telling these two unlucky people, they managed to catch several giant crocodiles. Although things are going well today, but it wasn't enough to help them pull off a counterattack. But it also gave both men renewed confidence. When faced with a brand new crocodile, I don't think it's small anymore. Instead, he brought out all his skills to fight the ferocious crocodile. Although this gator's death roll is a good one, but they forgot about the rope. He tied himself to the side of the boat. Let's get Laurent to kill it with one shot. After pulling this crocodile into the boat, they were instantly elated. Move on to the next goal. And not far away in the swamp is Old Man Bruce. After improving the technology of Laurent and Porkchop, not only did they catch a crocodile for two, even today, efforts are ongoing, in constant progress. Suddenly, I saw the lines that were already straight. Then he took the weapon in his hand and pulled the crocodile out of the water. After closing the mouth of this crocodile, he was immediately winched onto the boat. And now Bruce is reaping the rewards. It's totally going to help the two of you put a high value on it. Get it straight up to a 9. And Daniel and Dorian on the other side, after dusting the bait with paprika. No more raccoon traps. And I caught alligators off those. Soon they were at another trap. But the rope of this trap got tangled in the branch. Dorian had to come forward and untie it. But it also pulled the crocodile up. Start pulling as soon as you kill this crocodile. Dorian even measured it on the way. The crocodile was found to be 11 feet tall. And that just proves the success of their plan. At the same time, in Deadwood Moor, Troy and Pickle check out the mini traps, but found that many are empty. The only thing I have is a 7-foot crocodile. It made them both feel terrible, so they ran to the other side. ready to check out the traps over there. And just in time, the first one to see it was in stock. The two quickly began to approach. The pickle immediately pulls the rope up, pull out the long-lost crocodile. Although they were happy to catch a crocodile, but this 9-foot one doesn't fit either of them, because this crocodile can't be pacified, because of the difference in 7 feet. And Anna and Ashley on the other side. They replaced the boat with the small one. We're going deeper into the narrower channels. But the ship has disadvantages of its own. Can't get the crocodile on board. If we try to do this, the boat will capsize. As they made their way down the river, saw the first trap laid, and there seems to be a crocodile up there. Anna immediately pulled up the rope, but the boat was too small to maneuver. I almost capsized the boat. But the good thing is that the two men have good ship control skills. Not only did it not tip, but it pulled the crocodile out of the water. With the death of this crocodile, the two men began to agonize over what to do about the crocodile. After all, it's impossible to pull him onto this ship. Then the two men had a sudden idea. That is to put a life jacket on the crocodile. Let it float behind the boat. After tying the clothes to the crocodile, a miracle happened to the crocodile. Just follow the two back to the big boat. As soon as we get back to the boat, we pull him on board. 2 people after the old nose strength. The crocodile was finally pulled into the boat. And Bruce on the other side has filled the boat with big crocodiles. But he still has 1 trap left. But now the ship's draft is very serious. He doesn't know if he can fit it in, but still not willing to give up the crocodile on this trap. After pulling it out of the water, it's not small to find this crocodile. After pulling it out of the water, I found out this alligator was 11 feet long. This is certainly good news for Bruce. Now is the time to help both of Laurent get off the bottom of the heap. And on the other side, Laurent and Poor Chops. Today's harvest is not bad. I'm not the little crocodile I used to be. Instead, one by one, the giant crocodiles came to us. Like this one right here. Poor Chops, after pulling them out, found this one a little tricky. Not just pulling the boat around. He almost pulled the poor Chop off the boat. But then Laren took a shot. I can't believe I just killed the crocodile. But because of the size of this crocodile, they're having a little trouble getting it on board. But they just don't want to give up, even at the risk of capsizing the boat. Pulled the crocodile into the boat. As the giant crocodile finally enters their arms, they ended the day perfectly. Starts sailing back to port. And Dorian and Daniel on the other side. Now it's not just getting an abundance of crocodiles. Even Dorian learned a trick. But now they have a line. So they can't end it now. We need to get this last one on board. As Dorian pulls it to the surface, the crocodiles are doing their own tricks. And that puts the pressure on Dorian in an instant. But good thing that's what this crocodile does. Dorian can handle it. There's even a way to control it. And it was just this one moment. Daniel on the side caught it and sent it straight to God. With this crocodile becoming something for 2, they immediately began to return. Can't wait to show off. And at the buyer Duffy's house, as Ashley and Anna prepare to count the harvest, Troy and Pickle are here. They were curious about Ashley's catch today. After seeing 2 alligators, Troy couldn't believe it. It's amazing how many giant crocodiles they caught. Due to the team's change of plans today, now all the rankings have changed. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode. You know, hunting crocodiles in the swamp, there are all kinds of surprises, so you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Like when there's something wrong with your gun. I need you to learn from the lady in front of me. Take out a bow, an arrow, and deliver a fatal blow to the crocodile. And watch the crocodiles dance by themselves. As the fighting in the swamp intensifies, the difference between the players has also become smaller. For that, Ashley and Anna. The hunt began early in the morning, and we've reached the first trap. But the bait is still there, and it feels like there are fewer crocodiles here. The pair will have to adopt a new strategy. Otherwise, there's no way to get anything out of it. While the two are still thinking, there was a crocodile in front of him, already hooked. Anna immediately pulled up the rope. Ashley took it and started pulling on the alligator. Anna also took out her bow, an arrow, and pulled it into a full bow. Be ready to deliver a deadly blow to the crocodile. Under Ashley's constant tugging, soon Anna shot the arrow. Fortunately, he managed to hit the crocodile in the head, or they're going to need another shot. At this point, Ashley also told the plan. Try to be as quiet as possible while you're catching crocodiles. Make those crocodiles that are still lurking feel safe. So the trap might ship 7 miles away from the 2 of them. Troy and Pickle also set out to hunt. The 2 were not arrested in their previous locations. We're in the deep end, because they know that crocodiles are now lurking. So I came to a place that many crocodiles like, and they were very lucky. The crocodile was on the first trap, although there are many obstacles. But Kimchi managed to pull the crocodile out. The moment it came to the surface, 2 people will play up the spirit of 12 points. Be ready to strike a mortal blow at any moment. The 2 are also worthy of being partners for many years. It will soon be completely resolved. But this crocodile is only 8 feet long. The pair have secured their ranking. There was no help at all. It might even bring the averages down, but the two made a different discovery. It was on the edge of a river, left this huge crocodile footprint. This made the two men wonder where the crocodile had gone. Kimchi followed the footprints for some distance, and they didn't find anything. And on the other side, the Willis. The two have held a good position so far, but they cannot relax. Otherwise, someone else will push you down. But then little Willie had some bad news to tell. Then he got a steady job, and he's about to take office. As bad as it is to leave Willie here. But little Willie had to do it. After all, the revenue from catching crocodiles is so volatile. He had to make sure he paid the bills for his family. But what can Willie do about it? Then the two men suddenly spotted the crocodile. For a moment, the low atmosphere dissipated. Began to take its crocodiles seriously. As little Willie throws the hook, that fight is about to start. With little Willie pulling the crocodile out of the water. They found it to be a crocodile nearly 10 feet long. This immediately fired up both men. Not only did he manage to keep the crocodile close to the boat, Willie didn't even hesitate to shoot. Fortunately, it was successfully sent to heaven. It would have been a wasted bullet. And a good day from the crocodile's boarding began. But for little Willie's imminent departure, Willie was still a little sad and miserable. Zach and Joey at the same time. The two have not yet reached the hunting ground, but there are a lot of giant crocodiles out there. To that end, the traps were laid out yesterday. Just for today with those crocodiles. Have a wonderful day. As the two men arrived at the hunting ground, a crocodile was immediately spotted. Joey stopped the boat immediately. Zach also throws out the line, and he managed to hit the crocodile. And then they started fighting him right away. But I haven't even pulled it yet. The line suddenly broke. Let that crocodile get away. Although they are very disappointed. But there's nothing you can do about it. And 87 miles away, local swamp weapons expert Black Rambo. The mission of experts is being carried out because he served in the Marine Corps. It made him love guns to the point of obsession. He went to museums for that. I've looked up books on this subject and constantly absorb all knowledge from it. And today got a call for help from a friend, just looking for a 19th century musket. It's an old swamp hunter's weapon. Used to be used to hunt crocodiles. Black Rambo, after seeing a picture of the gun, I started looking for it right away. Although that gun is not that far from the present. But today, the only people left are basically collectors. So this gun's going to be a little hard to find. And on the other side, there's Troy and Kimchi. The two men now hunt in a different location. And Kimchi had an idea, even though Troy didn't think much of the idea. But the kimchi was delivered to shore and ready to listen to this beautiful sound. With the kimchi playing over, they were ready to leave immediately. But to keep the gators from hearing the motors, kimchi began to play again. Then the two men left while blowing. And at the same time, the Willies decided to go somewhere nice. It's teeming with crocodiles. And most of them are giant crocodiles. To make sure little Willie doesn't have regrets on his last day, Willie has to catch something big today. That's when Willie spotted a giant alligator. Have little Willie pick up the hook right away, and then immediately throw it out, and began to pull it back. Can be found when the crocodile is pulled up. It's only about 7 feet in size. It was an awkward moment for Willie, but little Willie had nothing to do with it. Now Ashley and Anna in the south. The two men made an important discovery. They saw a lot of crocodiles ahead of them, and they all swim on the river. This suggests that their previous approach worked, but they don't have anything like a triangle hook. Just keep checking on the traps. But the good news is that the traps in front of us are stocked. Anna stepped forward and pulled up the rope. Although the crocodile was successfully killed, but it was too heavy. Both men nearly sank their boats. But fortunately, it was finally pulled on board successfully. And Joey and Zach on the other side. The pair decide to return to catch the ferocious crocodile. It's the one that ripped Zach's fishing line. But after looking for a circle, but mysteriously did not find, we have to check out the remaining traps first. Come back and look for the crocodile. Soon they came to a trap, but the crocodile on the trap. Not in the water, but on land. But the crocodile got tangled up in the rope. As a result, its current actions are very limited. Zach just shot him to death. Although this crocodile is very quick to solve. But this crocodile is also huge. This made both of them very happy. But look at that barb that's about to straighten. The two were glad they had come in time. It's too early for the alligator to wrap itself around. If it's too late, it gets away. At the same time as her Rambo. Still trying to find the old gun. So he's going to do a gun show. There are new guns, old guns, and classic guns. Black Rambo was sure there was something there he wanted. By the acquaintance at the door. There's a lot of old guns in here. Black Rambo immediately ran inside and found an old friend again. I hope I can find out through him. Maybe there's a musket in here, but he doesn't know. Black Rambo had to continue to search everywhere and found twin sisters, but they said there was no blood connection. I have to say that the world is amazing. with the knowledge of Black Rambo. They don't have any of these muskets. So I decided to find my most knowledgeable friend. He's a master of all kinds of old firearms. And people work in museums and universities. And on the other side, the Willis. Willie was getting very anxious now. And it was all because little Willie was leaving. But by now, Willie was used to his presence. He was not used to this sudden separation. Suddenly, a crocodile appears in front of him. Willie immediately sets sail after him. Little Willie, too, was ready. Throw the hook as soon as you get close. And successfully hooked it in. There were a few surprises along the way. But the good news is that it turned out well. And the crocodile was 11 feet long. It's perfectly normal to have a few accidents. This made a change in little Willie's heart. And on the other side, Zach and Joey, back to where the crocodile pulled the line. But fortunately, the two also have a lot of gains in front. That gives them plenty of time to chase this monster. On the way, they gave it the name Razor. It didn't take long this time. I saw the Razor again. Zach immediately picked up his fishing rod, prepared to pull him out of the water. After 2 attempts, it was successfully hooked and started pulling back violently. But this crocodile is too strong. Not only did he pull Zach and his wife along, I almost pulled it into the water. But when you pull back, the fishing line was torn again. This Zach was so mad, he almost dropped his fishing rod, but still very reluctant. Lose the fishing rod that accompanied him all the way. It was decided to upgrade the equipment. Then Zach pulled out his secret weapon, a wire used to connect electricity. It will be used to replace the original 18. And on the other side, there's Troy and Kimchi. The two now harvest very good. Troy had no idea that crocodiles like pigs, but it's probably because that voice sounded like it was hurt. After all, when the prey is fighting, it doesn't take much energy, but because 2 people grasp too hard, no more crocodiles were seen behind. I had to rest for more than an hour. Then he came to a trap again. But the good news is there's a crocodile here, or it's a trip for nothing. But this crocodile is a little too sensitive. They haven't done anything to him yet. It just rolled and rolled and rolled. But that didn't stop Troy from brutalizing him. But because this crocodile is so big, Troy won't touch the giant alligator. It can only be pulled slowly onto the boat. And Black Rambo on the other side, still on the way to find the musket. But now there is a change. That's Black Rambo's friend Mike. Found him and told him it was here. That 19th century musket. This makes Black Rambo run for it immediately. And when I got there, I saw what I wanted to see. It's a 19th century musket. But this gun doesn't belong to Mike. It belonged to a famous local collector. He's had this gun for decades, and it takes care of it very well. And the big muzzle on it, it was designed to look like this. Because you drive boats in swamps, that's how you get most of the powder. It can be successfully fitted inside the barrel. And that's what the Black Rambo on one side is hearing. But it raises a crucial question. That's how much fun this gun is. But at 1,100. Then I called my friend Cody. Give the good news to the musket. And then he told the bad news about the price. But across from Cody after listening, he said yes without hesitation. And all 3 men are very happy. At the same time, Ashley and Anna, after catching several giant crocodiles, there's still a few traps left to check. But they didn't get cocky about it, still keeping the plan of silence. Soon the 2 reached the nearest trap. Look at the crocodile that remains silent under the water. Anna just bends the bow and pulls the arrow. Hit this stupid crocodile with a bang. The 2 waited until the crocodile stopped moving. I went up and pulled him into the boat, although they watched the alligator struggle for hours. But Anna was still worried about her arrows. After pulling this crocodile into the boat, the 2 men set out again in search of other giants. And on the other side, there's Troy and Kimchi. The boat has already been loaded with crocodiles. But the 2 now have one last trap. They have to see it. Otherwise, there is no stopping the restless heart. With the trap in sight, the 2 men saw the straight rope. Kimchi immediately pulls it out. After we take care of this alligator, Troy immediately tied the rope around him and pulled it onto the boat. And Joey and Zach on the other side. The 2 are still trying to find a razor, even though there are already plenty of giant crocodiles on board. But they didn't want to give it up. As the 2 continued to search, finally found the razor's trail again. Zach immediately throws out the line and began to fight it. But crocodile razors are not stupid. He went under the boat again and almost pulled Zach under the water. But the result was different this time. Zach has not only regained the initiative, the crocodile started weaving around and worked with Joey to pull it to the surface. And the moment his head appeared, raise the pistol and shoot him straight. But because this crocodile has too many hooks, 2 people are very uncomfortable to pull it to the boat. But we got it on the boat, and Black Rambo on the other side, starting to return to Cody's location. After an hour's journey, Black Rambo came to Cody and gave him his gun, but to see if the gun was still functional. 2 people came to a vacant silly girl. and gave the musket a trial run. According to the results, there's nothing wrong with the gun. It's even perfectly maintained. At the same time, Willie and Little Willie, since it was the last day of hunting for both of them. But now Willie's trying to figure out if he can keep it. But I still can't say it directly. I want Little Willie to keep catching alligators here. So the two searched for the giant crocodile in silence. That's when Willie found the blister. He immediately threw the triangle hook and began to pull it towards the boat. Although the crocodile was successfully killed, but in the process of arrest, Willie also showed his flaws. He's not as strong as Little Willie now. He was almost pulled into the water halfway through. But the gains have been pleasing. After all, this crocodile is 12 feet tall. But even this crocodile is huge. That did not change Little Willie's mind. Willie had no choice but to support it. 10 miles to the south, Ashley and Anna are still keeping quiet. Then the two men suddenly spotted the crocodile in the distance. Ashley gets in the boat right away and took out his treasure. Prepare for a long-range kill. With Ashley's careful aim and shot, Anna took the boat out right away and will eat Ash in the corner of the triangle hook out to the spot where the crocodile was and pull it to the surface. After a little celebration, and started pulling it toward the boat. When the crocodile pulls it up, the two ended their trip for the day. And on the other side, the Willis and this Little Willie's brother, Landon. Fishing is going on. With the end of the day, the Wileys won first place again. The rankings of other teams have also changed. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.